Some of the strongest father-daughter bonds are sealed with sweat, trail mud, and fish slime, and cured with campfire smoke. I've learned this from raising my own two girls, but I gained even more insight tagging along with Win Hill and his daughter Whitney during a trek to a high point in their relationship. They already had a foundation of adventures, but in Whitney's transition from high school to college, Win wanted to end that chapter in their lives with an exclamation point. Win applied for the coveted permits in February. Come September, the Hills were at Lone Pine, California, heading up a serious rock mountain that peaks out at 14,497 feet. Mount Whitney's summit eludes two-thirds of the climbers who try to reach it. This trek was going to be memorable, one way or the other. Incidentally, observers noted that hiking with daughters is a lot like hiking with sons, except there's a little less belching and farting and a lot more color. The Hills climbed to 12,000 feet and made camp to let their bodies acclimate to the altitude. They shared camp chores and consoled each other about having to pack out their human waste. They shared secrets. Whitney confessed that she'd broken the no-pet policy. They planned the summit day details and set the alarm for 4 a.m. A full moon illuminated the granite landscape in surreal hues as they began climbing toward the Sierra Nevada crest and the border with Sequoia National Park. Whitney's hands were numb with cold at first, but soon the climbers settled into a steady pace that had them gobbling elevation and glowing with more than warmth. The wind was calm and the mountain was silent, aside from the crunch of grit under their boots, the click of hiking poles on the rocky trail, and sniffles from cold noses. They reveled in the quiet until sunrise floodlit Whitney's summit in the distance. "It doesn't get any better than this," said Win, and he meant it. I felt blessed just to be with them and where they were. I'm sure the freeloader did too. The father-daughter team forged ahead until they were high-fiving in the thin air of Mount Whitney's summit. Win was looking for quality time with his oldest daughter, and by 8 a.m. they found it, standing on a rock overlooking the lower 48 states. As they descended, they passed a stream of climbers, some of whom looked as though each step might be their last. The Hills virtually skipped down the 99 switchbacks to their base camp. Whitney had learned she was undaunted by daunting altitude. Win saw her make the shift toward blazing her own trails. The highlight of the trip wasn't the summit, the challenge, the scenery, the end of the trail, or even the much-needed shower. The best part of outdoor adventuring with a daughter is the connection that endures long past the day when Dad was her main man. It's a crutch you'll need when she looks you in the eye during that one last dance and follows your lead to assure you she doesn't need it anymore. This is Rich Landers for Spokesman.com.